The next stop is On the Radar Radio.
Stand clear of the closing doors, please.
Yeah.
Yes, sir, baby. On the Radar Radio Atlanta edition presented by Puma, the one, the only, my brother Wayno in the building. How are you today, brother?
I'm good. It kind of sounds weird, like Atlanta edition, and I'm on it. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah, right?
But I do live in Atlanta now. So.
I know. Do you like it here?
I love it here.
Okay.
I love it here.
Okay.
Yeah. I don't experience no bullshit, though.
Pros and cons versus New York.
Pros and cons versus New York. All right. First and foremost, you can't get nothing to eat after 10 o'clock. And I know people probably gonna be like, oh, you can get food to eat. No. They don't have, like, they food down here. I think that the South thinks that they got the best soul food because it's the South, and that's a big misconception. Secondly, you just can't get shit that you want, and everything out here is slow. Shit moves dumb slow out here.
I kind of peeped that last night when I came in,
Mhm.
and we were looking for food to eat, and I think we went to a TGI Fridays, and it was like,
We went to Friday. That's what I'm saying. You gotta eat Fridays.
yeah, bro. Now, we ended up going to, like, another spot, which I don't want to talk about that spot either,
Right,
but,
right.
like, the Fridays was closed, and I'm like, bro, like, the Fridays in New York, that should be open till, like, midnight.
Yeah, bro. Like down here, it's just a little different, man. But I mean, it's dope though. I ain't gonna lie, man. They're good people down here. It's a good environment. I love animals. I live in the woods, so I like seeing like wildlife and all that shit. Straight up.
Like, you said wild animals. All I thought about, like, the first thing that came to my mind was the
What?
tiger that was in
Not no fucking tiger. But I live somewhere
Nah,
with
but you know
tigers.
what I'm
like,
talking about, right?
Yeah, I know what you mean.
The infamous story.
Yeah, but no. Like I understand why they call the Atlanta Hawks the Atlanta Hawks. There's a lot of fucking hawks out here.
Oh, for real?
Yeah, it's hawks. There's all types of shit out here though. You know what I mean? But it's love. I get a lot of appreciation down here, so it's cool.
My brother in the sticks now. He
Yeah, that's a fact.
living the country life.
Like Styles P said, if I show you where I live, you would think I was hiding. You feel me?
But you're not hiding. You
I'm not
outside.
hiding.
You're outside.
But I also don't know. I don't want nobody to know where the fuck I live at either. So
of
there's
course,
that.
of course. But you got a new title, right? I want to make sure I say this fully correctly.
Mhm.
QC's EVP of A&R.
Yes.
It's a lot of-
Co-head of A&R though,
Co-head of
because
A&R,
it's
okay.
me and my sister Brandra Ringo. You know what I mean? We both share the same title.
Okay.
Yeah.
How long you had this position?
Now?
Okay.
Yeah, about 2 years. I mean, everybody found out last year, but I had just been quietly working in the shadows and shit. You know what I mean? I'd be on
Right.
some, stay low and keep firing, like Biggie said.
Right, because you were in, like, your era where, you did the everyday struggle. You were at Asylum,
Mhm.
right? You had the Amazon show, which still continued into this QC thing, and then I know
Mhm.
you work on some new stuff, but
Mhm.
you had that era of your life, right?
Mhm.
And then it's not like you didn't disappear. You were still around. You did your media run. You did the
Yeah.
no jumper stuff, and then, like, it was like quiet Wayno for a while, and then we see QC.
It's so funny. Somebody told me like whenever I'm too quiet, something about to happen. They like every
Literally.
time I get quiet, like something happens. That's just because like I kind of felt like in the beginning of my career, which is so long ago, but like in the beginning of my career, I fell in love with like the moment and just feeling like this was gonna last forever, and nothing lasts forever. So I was just so like caught up on being a part of and just being big on what I was doing, which I still am. But now I'm at a place where like something could go down, I could be quiet about it. You would not even know. Like I was talking to QC for a minute before we had finally had did business and I came along. You feel me? I was talking and talks and just working. Just trying to help out with whatever I could in
Right.
between my contract, because being an A&R, you get signed to a contract like somebody else. So it's like I couldn't really do what I was capable of at the time, but I was trying to help out any little way I could.
So you're still with Asylum at that time when...
I was leaving. I was
Or the
transitioning.
transition, yeah.
Yeah, which was a tough thing for me because, like, Asylum has some really good people. I got to shout, Gabby Peluso. Like, she believed in me to bring me on because I hadn't had a label job since Rockefeller. You know what I mean? But I did have success as a manager outside of the building before I started any of that media shit. So she took a shot on me, and then, working with my brother Dallas Martin, you know what I mean? Like, it was it was a growing thing, you know what I mean? And in Dallas, he had a lot of shit that he wanted to do, and we was kind of on the same page, but at the same time, like my heart was pulling me in a different direction. So it hurt me a bit to have to tell him that I was gonna leave. You know what I
Right.
mean?
But I was about to say, like, you and I have been talking for, like, you've been here for a while, so you and I have been talking, but that's like kind of one
Yeah.
of those things where it's just like you just got to know what, like, the next step is for you too.
The thing about it is like you got to be selfish, man.
Yeah.
You got to be selfish. Like you got to do what's best for you and yours. Like everybody else does what's best for them and theirs. So like the music is not the mafia. Like you know what I mean? Like it's not I get in and I can't get out. So like you work with this company. This shit is like it's like sports. It's like you might be the fucking GM of a team over here, and then you end up on that team, or you get a player might get traded to another team, an artist go to another label. It's just like it moves around a lot. So you just got to do what's in your best interest at all times, more than anything. You know what I mean? It's not about what's best for the company, because you don't own the fucking company. You know what I mean? And you want to be respectful to the company, but shit, you know, you got to do what's best for you.
Right. With QC first reaching out, that was P?
Well, it wasn't like a reach out thing. It's really interesting because, you know, I had met Coach in 2016 when I was managing Dave East. You know, Dave East and Yachty was on the same freshman cover.
Right.
That 2016 cover, Yachty, Uzi,
Legendary
Herbo,
cover,
legendary
by the way,
cover.
yeah.
So that's when we had first met. But it wasn't like I wasn't talking to Coach like on some working for them shit one day. I just was like, I had met him, and then we had a lot of mutual people that was just saying like, yo, you need to know Wayno, and Wayno need to know you. So I would reach out to Coach. Coach used to curve me, but it wasn't in a bad way. Coach, like me, when I really learned Coach, like Coach is just very like strategic in how he deals with everything. So he was taking his time, and then with the way I actually got the P was, it was me doing Everyday Struggle. You know what I mean? Like I was doing Everyday Struggle, and he had reached out to me one day, was like, yo, I want Baby on the show, and this when my turn was coming out. So at the time, I've told this story a few times, but I was basically I told like the talent department, like, yo, I don't care who we got coming this week, we need to get Lil Baby on the show, and this is right before the pandemic happened.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So we get Baby on the show, and then P just after the show, that was the first time me and P had met in person. You know, because we used to talk on DMs and shit, just on some cool, what up, you know what I mean? And then he told me to come down to his hotel later on that day, and I met up with him, and we just had a conversation about just life and, you know, business and what he was doing and what I was doing. And he said, yo, like, you know, I think, you know, you smart, and I think that you know, business savvy, and you seem like you know what you're talking about. So if the opportunity presents itself in the future, I would want you to be, you know, a part of QC. And at that moment, I was like, I'm QC. Like, you know what I mean? It was a no-brainer for me. You know what I mean? I just looked at it as, you know, a dope opportunity for not only for me to grow as an executive, but to grow as a businessman. And just, he told me all the things that he was building out over the next couple of years. So it was more enticing than just the label shit. You feel me?
That's fire, man. Congrats.
Thank you, man. Thank you.
Thank you for helping set up a bunch of stuff here in Atlanta with us. You know what I'm saying?
Man.
Like, Duke Deuce, we got Duke Deuce coming. I'm very excited about that. That's been on. Which, by the way, since you obviously are part of Duke Deuce's team, one of my favorite Duke Deuce records that I feel like is so underrated because it came out before she even blew up was his record with Glow.
Yeah.
I sing that shit all the time. That's one of my favorite records.
Just Say That.
Just Say That. For the two of them, that was one of my favorite joints.
It's crazy because, like, so my partner Tati, we managed Duke together. Like, man, I remember because Duke had that album done like a year prior, but I wasn't managing him, and I wasn't A&Ring him that much. You know what I mean? It was somebody else A&Ring him at the time. So she had told me like, yo, it's this girl. Her name Glorilla. She from Memphis. Like, she fire. I'm telling you, not. And I was like, all right, cool. And then after that, then I had met Hit Kid like right around when FNF had came out, and then Glow blows up. And I mean, you can't win them all. You feel me?
Yeah. You can't win them all.
You can't win them all. But I really love that record. You know what I mean? I really love that record a lot.
That record's hard. And so, like, and also you're helping us out with the Ladies Night Cypher, which I greatly appreciate. By the time people see this, hopefully that's either on the way or out. But I appreciate you because, you know what I'm saying? Like, I think as New Yorkers working in different spaces now, too, it's kind of tight to have, you know, you on board and help with this situation. Because, like, and I'm even just thinking about this now. It's like, it's really kind of legendary because, like, we're all working together to just create this moment in hip-hop that hasn't even really been done to the extent that it's about to be. By the time y'all see this, hopefully that's out already.
You know what's crazy, though? Like, I think that's a great perspective that you brought up, but I don't be thinking of it like that. I really just be on some shit. Like, if I see somebody, like, busting their ass and they really doing something, and if I can help, I'm always going to do it. Because, like, when I was on my come up in music and shit, and I was, like, I started in this shit 18, 19, and I'm 40 now. And when I was, like, trying to get to where I was trying to be, like, I didn't really have a lot of people pulling me up. I had a few people that did pull me up or put me in position. And even when I got put in position, it was people that really didn't, like, I don't feel like I was in a respected space. So if I see somebody like doing their thing, it's all about the youth, bro. And I mean that like sincerely. Like, if you see somebody younger than you, it's so many people that's younger than me that come up to me and be like, yo, man, I admire you. I started doing media because of you. I became a journalist. And I'd be like, I ain't no fucking journalist. You know what I mean? And I would say that, you know, like for real, bro, because there's people I went to school for that. I ain't go to school for none of that. Like, being in media wasn't my dream. Being a A&R wasn't my dream at one point in time. I just found something and I stayed with it. So when I see people trying to accomplish their dreams, I just want to help them. That's what I want to be remembered for. You feel me? Like, rest in peace to my brother Hovain. Like that. Like he said that one time. Like, you know, he wanted to be remembered by how many people he helped. You know what I mean? So like we was really close. So like we kind of shared that with one another. Like me and Hovain never made a dime together, but if it was a direction he could point me in or something I wanted to learn, he would always do it.
Yeah, I think that they said that at his funeral too. They brought that quote up. Man, rest in peace, Hovain. First of all,
that's a fact.
You know, I try to say, and shout out the good brother Rob Markman too.
Oh, that's family.
Because every day when I wake up and I see Rob Sweet, because you know Rob carried on the good morning and thank you God for another day. I say that every morning when Rob tweets it. So rest in peace, Hovain, man.
Yeah, that's a fact.
If you don't know, we gonna keep his memory alive.
Oh,
man.
Absolutely.
Forever,
absolutely.
man. But you know, I like what you said about helping the next generation, the youth, because I feel like even in my generation, like you know, Angie Martinez helped bring me up. Honey German at iHeart taught me the digital media ways. But in certain aspects, like you know, when you start a platform like On the Radar, not everybody is always gonna be there to help bring you up. You know what I'm saying? Because like I feel like in certain ways people bring you up. Like how I mentioned, Angie put me in the building, right?
Right.
Honey put me in the space of learning the digital stuff. But like On the Radar was like a new territory that nobody really was there to bring me up. And I feel like even with a lot of young New York artists, they're always like, oh, you know, I don't always have older artists around to, you know, kind of bring me up. You know, shout out to Jim Jones. Jim Jones has been kind of doing that a lot recently. How do we break that cycle? Like, how do we begin to
bro,
you know?
I feel like the generation above me failed us, and my generation failed the youth as well. That's a fact. Like I'm just keeping it all the way 100, bro. And it, to me, you know, so I go a little deep when it comes to things, but it's like when I look at like some of the drill artists, like I see how everybody critiques them, right? Everybody's like, oh, it's so violent and it's so this and it's so that. I mean, I love the Locks. Those are my brothers, but they were super violent. You know what I mean? I love, listen.
Thank you.
I love Mobb Deep. They was violent. I love 50 Cent. G-Unit. Like, I remember one time somebody asked A Boogie something about, like, violence in music, and A Boogie's like, well, I was listening to G-Unit. Did you ever listen to what G-Unit was saying? Like, they had us on some shit. So the thing about it is, I feel like the music is one thing, right? But, like, what I feel about, like, the generations feeling one another is each one teach one. But at the same time, a lot of people learned how to duck by getting hit. Like Jim is a person that is crazy, yo. Every time I've had like a crazy position in my career from when I started up until now, Jim has been there for. It's 3 things that happened to me, and Jim was there each time. I've known Jim since I was 18 years old. I'm 40. You feel me?
Yeah.
Like this is when diplomats just getting to Rockefeller. That's how long I know Jim. And he's always been about helping the younger dudes. But like I feel collectively like we failed them in a lot of ways. Like when we look at New York youth or whatever, right? The reason why a lot of them are the way they are is because a lot of their fathers aren't there. That's why I said the deeper thing. You know what I mean? Like a lot of these dudes, I don't know about K-Flock, but I know I never seen him talk about his dad.
Right.
You know
Shout out Mama Flock, because Mama Flock has you
shout
know
out
what I'm
to his
saying?
mom.
Shout out Mama Flock.
But anybody who's I come from a single parent household. You know what I mean? It's tough when it's just you. So it's like when I look at some of the issues that some of these artists have, they might have adapted different cultures from different places, but at the same time, like I feel like as men specifically, and I'll say about New York, because I'm from New York. I'm from the Bronx and Harlem. We failed our youth. And that's why a lot of shit goes the way it does.
Something that you said that I want to make a point, because it's actually funny that you mentioned the Locks, right? Because when the whole discourse with the mayor about drill music a year ago was going on, I was picking somebody up from the airport, and I put on the Locks Essentials playlist because, I don't know, that's like one of my favorite playlists on Apple Music, right? So I'm bumping it, and I think it was a song with X, right? And they was talking crazy on it, right? I wish I remembered specifically which one. But I remember like me sitting in my car bumping that. I'm like, this is the same shit that they talking about now.
Bro.
Obviously, the way that they speak now is different.
It's different.
But same context.
Yo, all right, so look, I always want to say this, but like, all right, you know DMX, the song Niggas Done Started Something.
Yeah.
He says, don't come at me with no bullshit, use caution, because when I wet shit, I dead shit like abortions for bigger portions of extortion and racketeering, got niggas fearing. Fuck what you heard is what you hearing, right? Then he says, he said, DMX, yo, that verse on Niggas Done Started Something is crazy, bro. Like, he says a lot of crazy shit. Like, X is the same person that said, I got blood on my hands and there's no remorse. I got blood on my dick because I fucked the corpse. You know what I'm saying? Like, but at the same time, people was looking, I felt like rap, the skill set was different, so they didn't look at it so literal. Like, nobody looked at DMX as like, he probably fucked the corpse. You know what I mean? I feel like they looked at him as like, oh, he just saying some clever shit. Like when Eminem used to say all types of crazy shit.
Yeah.
Cameron was doing that. On Cameron, he had a song called Confessions of Fire. That's the name of the song on that album, where he's like, he mimicked it like he was talking to a priest, and he's making all these confessions, and he's saying all this shit about fucking a cousin and all this other crazy shit, but nobody took it literal. They like, Cam just rapping.
Right.
Today, I think the problem is because these kids is literally doing a lot of the shit that they talking about. That's what makes it a little bit different. You know what I'm saying?
Right. I agree, but at the same time, do you feel like people back then weren't doing it? It's just there wasn't social media back then?
No, they was definitely doing shit, and it was definitely social media. So the thing is like, I never try to come from this place. You know how people say, oh, the golden era was so much better. Like,
right.
No, shit was not good, bro. You couldn't you couldn't fucking wear a chain if you wasn't tough.
Yeah.
You couldn't walk around with money in your pocket if you wasn't busting your gun. People try to act it like all right, because the killings was more like, people say, oh, well, people was killing over like territory, so that makes it better. Like, the fuck. Ever since I was in kindergarten, I've been hearing stop the violence. I'm 40 years old. Ever since I was in kindergarten, I've been hearing stop the violence. So it's not that things are so much different. It's just that as people grow older, our perspective change.
Of course.
And things that we would tolerate when we were younger, when we didn't know no better, are different now, because now we got kids, and we don't want our kids getting hurt and losing their lives. And the thing about with these younger kids in the drill scene is, I don't see a lot of people just like, it ain't about trying to sign them. It's about saying like, yo, bro, chill a little bit. Or if you really living like that, find a way to transition a bit. You know what I mean?
I mean, ask these two right here.
Mm-hmm.
Don't I do like speeches off camera? I be trying. I really be trying, like on camera and off. Well, on camera, I don't ask them anything that's going to incriminate them. First of all, because I'm big anti-incriminating artists, right? Big on that. But second of all, like, I be trying off camera. I be like, look, like, yo, like, y'all playing a dangerous game. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, y'all could, if you take the music stuff seriously, like, yeah, the money might take a little longer to hit you, but if you do it right, you won't. Your life is gonna be completely different.
Oh,
you know
no, bro,
what I'm saying?
this is the only shit that's like recession proof. You know what I mean? Like, I don't give a fuck
That's
what's
a good
going
one,
on. Yo, what's going on in the world, bro? Motherfuckers gonna listen to some music. I don't give a fuck how poor they is, how rich they is. Motherfuckers gonna listen to some music. So this is one of the only things where you can really make a difference. I think even for myself, bro, like, I live in a crib bigger than everything I ever lived in put together, and I did that off of music. So, and I'm not an artist, you know what I'm saying? So I think that the biggest takeaway from being an artist is, how serious are you about it? That's my biggest thing. It's like, are you serious about this shit, or you just trying to make a couple quick dollars? Because if everybody can make a couple quick dollars. I could walk out here, trip and fucking break my leg, or say I hurt myself and sue somebody and make some money. But I'm talking about some serious paper where you can change your life and everybody around you, and not just your lives, but the culture you're living, the wealth versus the couple versus rich, all of that type shit. You could really do that with music if you hone in and block out all the other bullshit. You feel me?
Right. Yeah. And I completely agree. And I think that's the one thing that, like, you know, the kids need, and that's not something that they're always told.
Yeah. I mean, also, it's because you need examples. So I don't want to just make it seem like I'm coming from this place where I know everything, because I was born into the hood. I didn't have shit. You know what I mean? By the time I got older, like, you remember your mom saying McDonald's money? Like McDonald's money was $3.50. You ain't have $3.50 for me to get something to eat. You feel me?
Yeah.
But at the same time, it's like, you only know, you know what I mean? You know it when you're going through it. So a lot with these kids is, you know, they need examples. You know what I'm saying? That's why for myself, I try to, I don't try to stay, how I stay young is by staying connected to the youth. I don't try to do what they do. I don't try to act like them. I don't try to be them. I don't try to tell them, like, how to be themselves. What I try to do is just talk with them and not at them, so that they can have a transparency, an understanding, like, damn, this dude 40, but he must know what was going. He was going through some shit similar to me in his 20s, so that you could say, damn, you know, we have a mutual respect for one another. Not me saying, you should listen to me just because you're younger than me. I don't do that shit, because I wasn't listening to motherfuckers that treated me like that when I was that young.
Yeah, that's a fact.
You know what I mean? So
That's
just
a
got to
fact.
give examples for these brothers and sisters.
Right. You were talking about so we were talking about, like, you know, music as a whole right now, and your Twitter is incredible because it's very uncensored, unfiltered, and all that. But I wrote down something that you said.
What I
you
said?
said, I wanted to talk to you about the current state of music as a whole, right? But two things. The first thing was, I want to talk about New York City, like the state of music, and and the funny thing is, you had this video, and it's a video of the two kids arguing with each other, and you said this is how all New York City drill beefs start.
Oh yeah, yup.
And it's just them saying nothing to each other.
Yeah, they're not saying nothing.
Yeah.
So the reason why I had posted that is because, like, you know, even though like I don't live in the hood, I'm not far detached. Like I still like people call me like, yo, such and such son. Like I'm at the age now where like a lot of my peers, like they sons. Like one of my homeboys, he was locked up and then his son got locked up. Like I know dudes who did 20 and now they sons is getting sentenced to 20. You know what I'm saying? Like one of my homeboys, he just came home from doing 13 and his son getting in the shit. So it's like, what I mean by that is that like I'm not detached from how shit go on. Now when I be trying to find out, I feel like most shit in the streets, the reason why it goes bad is because a lot of men, specifically black men, because I'm a black man, we get our feelings hurt and we don't know how to express that. And we use the term principles and morals and ethics and values, but it's really simply our feelings being hurt and us not being able to say, yo, you hurt my fucking feelings. What you did hurt my feelings. It's, no, I gotta kill this motherfucker. Or I gotta do that. So the reason why I put that is because it's in recent times, it's so many young brothers from the city that I know lost their life. And I ain't gonna speak on why they lost their lives, but when I got the story, I'm like, it was over that? Like, that wasn't nothing that they could have, like, they've been friends. They used to play basketball together. They used to fucking be in the same class together. They lost their teeth together. They was playing fucking 2K in the park together. And now y'all trying to kill each other?
Yeah.
I've seen it happen. So I'm not speaking from a place of, like, not knowing. I'm speaking from a place of my experience. And I'm just like, bro, stop it. You feel me?
Yeah. It's funny because like there are pictures that be popping up online now
Yeah.
of some of like the kids who are in the music scene
Yeah.
who don't like each other.
Yeah.
But it was like, I don't know, maybe 10 years ago and they were like all
Yeah.
next to each other in like a line.
Right.
And that shit's crazy when I see shit like that.
And the thing is like, you know, sometimes, listen, man, when with these young dudes, they desensitized in a lot of ways. And when blood gets drawn, I ain't gonna tell nobody how to feel, because my first friend I ever had in my life is tattooed on my arm, and he died in January 9th, 2003. He was 17 years old. I was 19.
Wow.
So this is not a new concept or construct. What I'm trying to say is that, like, I'm not saying it's avoidable. I don't, like, when I look at, like, D-Thang and K-Flock, right?
Yeah.
I seen a video yesterday somebody posted with all of them. It was D-Thang, K-Flock. It was a bunch of them. And they was all walking together. And I was like, and the Yeat baby was on the phone.
Oh, I don't think D-Thang was in that video.
That wasn't D-Thang?
I don't think D-Thing was in that video, but it was definitely, I think it was probably like K. I don't want to be misinterpreted by this.
Yeah,
but
I know,
like,
because then they gonna try to.
Yeah, but
I don't want to be in nobody's documentary.
Right, me neither. But Yeat was definitely on the phone.
Right.
Yeah,
so what I'm saying
is,
is that, like, you know, I just be wanting these young brothers to see that their lives have value. I think that the reason why they so quick to harm one another is because they don't see any value in one another. Like, they don't look at each other and be like, you know, I'm 20, he 20, but he got a daughter. You know what I mean? Like, maybe we don't have to take it that far if it ain't that deep.
Yeah, fact.
Or they like, you know what I mean? Like, man, shit, I know that I'm not scared of this, that, and I deal with it now because I got a 16-year-old son. So it's like, my son always tell me about how he not scared. I'm like, it's not about being scared, it's about being smart. Like, I don't want to go to, you shouldn't want to aspire to be in jail for 25 years. Because then when you're going to come home 25 years later and you're going to be on somebody's podcast talking about, I wish I would have knew better. I'm seeing it now. You know how many people Queens Flip had on his shit talking about if I would have known better?
Yeah.
These dudes was doing the same shit. Back then, they just didn't have social media or the terminology of drill.
Right, that's a fact.
Yeah.
But moving away from like the drill
let's
stuff
move
too,
away from that, yeah.
you know, we were talking about music as a whole, and something that you had said, another tweet of yours, is that there's just no more maturity in hip hop. It's all just kiddie shit.
Yeah.
Now, what do you mean by that? Like, what did not to do the Drewski shit, like, what do you mean by that?
What do you mean by that?
But like, what is like the broader, like, what's going on in your brain when you're saying something like that? Because I feel like that deserves a longer answer.
Yeah, I can unpack it for you. I think that, like, all right, what I meant by that is this, right? Like, when we knew that our favorite artist was approaching, like, 30 years old, we were looking for, like, certain type of content in their music, a certain type of substance in their music. Like, not to tell us to be, like, the biggest adult, right? Because we're all growing. Like, you never stop growing up. You know what I mean? But at the same time, like, you look at artists and you look at their perspectives and you look at a lot of them who became successful, and it happened in the early 20s. So most of the 50 Cents, the Nas's, the Jay-Z's, shit, I go as far to say, like, a Juicy J, you know what I mean? Like, a Snoop Dogg, you know what I mean? A Master P, Bone Thugs, all these people I grew up listening to, they kind of shifted when it came to what they were talking about, or not necessarily how they dress. Because I think I'm going to dress how I dress for the rest of my life. I'm never going to not wear Jordans.
Right.
I'm never going to not wear Supreme or streetwear. Like, that's just how I like to dress. But I think that there was a point in time where, you know, it was an aspect of maturity. It was an aspect when artists talked about things that was going on in their lives, and it was a different insight than when it was 10 years prior. And I feel like now, I see it's a lot of these artists that they acting like they 21, but they really 29 or 30 or approaching 30, and their music isn't shifting. You know what I mean? They're still talking about the same shit. They're not growing up in their music. They're not adding any perspective. And I just think overall as a people, because everybody on social media is trying to be so in, they not growing up. You know what I mean? They're just simply not fucking growing up. You know what I mean? Like even to an extent to myself, it's like, you know, I love to get on, like my favorite pastime is getting on 2K and playing the game. You know what I mean? Like, that's what I love to do. But you know, there's people who say, oh, when you 40, they like, you 40? Why you playing a game? So if I'm 40 and why I'm playing a game, why the fuck is you rapping about killing somebody and you ain't shot a gun or caught it, like you ain't in the streets no more? So why the fuck is you still have that perspective? You ain't even been nowhere near the fucking hood, nor is you trying to be. So why you keep rapping about that? I feel like it's
I feel like they have to.
No, I just think that the skill set is set very, very low now. So it's like it's easy to do that. It's easy to do what you know and not challenge yourself to do something higher, you know what I'm saying, or elevate a bit, you know what I mean?
Right. I feel like that's what I feel like that's kind of like, I know she's on the younger side, but that's what I feel like I've been wanting from someone like Megan Thee Stallion. You know what I'm saying? Like I felt like her last project, like there was like a song or two on there that you kind of saw the hints of that growth and maturity, but like then you kind of got like the body yaddy yaddy and those songs, which I ain't knocking that, because like at the end of the day, like that there's a space for that too, and that's, you know, there's a space for that. But like sometimes, like, you know, you see artists who go through things and she's been through so much, or you look at someone like Dirk, who I want to ask you about, because, you know, we were talking about Dirk right before this, but like you want to see that level of maturity and growth in music, because you care about them as a person too. Like you want to hear their story and you want to hear them tell it, and you want to see them grow.
Absolutely. But I think, and that's what I'm saying, right? It's like you gotta. I feel like every artist has to have a thing. I think like when people look at like an artist, and we just talking, but people look at an artist like a Cardi B, right? I think the most challenging thing for Cardi B is trying to figure out what she wants to talk about at this point in time in her career. And I don't know her at all, you know what I mean? But I just think that, like, you know, coming in the game, she was the, you know, everybody knows she's a blood. Everybody know that she'll run down on a bitch. Everybody, like, she say she gonna do what the who. That's not who she is no more. So it's like, because she was that person for so long, like, the perspective has to change. And when it does change, you got to find something that people are going to draw to, or they're going to fucking kill you for it. And that's the problem I think that hip hop has as a whole when it comes to our artists that we love so much. We be so fast to get rid of them. And why, right? Everybody's acceptable to make a mistake or two, or to try to put out a piece of art and you don't like it. That don't mean that they can't never try again. We be like, oh, it's over for them.
Roddy Ricch, great example.
Yeah, Roddy. But the only thing with Roddy Ricch, I just felt like and I don't know Roddy, but I feel like, you know, the success that he had with that record, you got to think, of course, everybody's going to have an ego. You know what I mean? And he's short. You know what I mean? So, you know, I don't know if he has a complex or not, but you got to, I'm thinking from an outside perspective, he might have some shit where he like, man, fuck you, I'm going to do it when I feel like it.
Right.
You know what I mean? And I didn't like the way people treated him. But at the same time, you got to remember, man, the fans is who make you who you are. So you got to, you know what I mean? You got to give them, what's the next? They don't want to hear eat, like, you know what I mean? They want to hear the next perspective from you. You know what I mean? And if you ain't feeding them a certain way, man, they not, fans ain't loyal at all. They gonna find the next motherfucking thing they feel is hot.
That's a fact. That's a fact. I feel like you gotta watch the Hulu doc on him. That kind of explains that whole like what went on with him.
Right.
But like if we're talking about, like, you know, what's next too, you know, you mentioned how you were, you know, there around the time of the 2016 XXL cover and the cipher and all that good stuff. But you just got put on the board, right?
Yeah.
What's the official title of the board? It's like it's the XXL Awards Board. Yeah. So does that encompass the freshman class? Like,
no, it doesn't. It doesn't. So Vanessa, I remember she texted me about this. You know what I mean? Which I love Vanessa. Shout out to Vanessa Satin. That's my homegirl. Yeah. But she had texted me and she was like, "Yo, I want to do like the XXL Awards where we give away awards and everything." And basically, like, I'm gonna make a board and we just vote. So basically, it's like a multiple choice thing. We didn't sit down. And the thing is like how things is positioned. You would think that we're all sitting at this round table. Like, I hate that fucking term, gatekeeper. They be like, gatekeeper. I'm like, what key do I got the gate to? You know what I'm saying?
Right.
But it basically was, you know, Vanessa called me and she wanted to put me on the board. And when everything came down the line, it was like, all right, who's the best artist? Who's your pick for the best artist of the year?
Yeah.
Who's your pick for the fucking rookie of the year? Who's your pick for the best album? And we just voted on it, and the votes tally up, and then you get the results. It wasn't like we all sat down and was like, yo, what artist you got signed to you? We gonna conspire to make it? Like, that's how people interpret it.
Right,
but it's
people
not
automatically assume like, oh, you're QC, so you're gonna be like, oh, Duke, do this, Duke, you know what I'm saying?
Nah, bro. Like, when I gotta do shit like that, like, of course there is bias. I remember one time, like, Charlamagne was having a conversation with somebody, and he was like, I am biased to my friends. Like, yeah, if my friend has an artist, I do want them to win. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That doesn't mean that I might want them to win over you, but I do want my friend and their artist to win.
Facts.
So, like, even for myself, like, I don't do every single thing just to who I work with or who I work for, because just as well as I like Lil Baby, I like Lil Durk. You know what I'm saying? I like motherfucking Polo G. You know what I mean? I like Rod Wave. I like I like Pop Smoke when he was here. I love A Boogie. So I'm all about when I put myself in that seat, I'm a consumer.
Yeah.
I'm a consumer. You know what I mean? I don't play no politics with that shit.
All right, so not playing no politics with this, right?
Yeah.
Double XL cover, right? Freshman cover this year.
Mm-hmm.
Who do you want to see on it? Is there anybody? I did say I want to see Baby Money on it, so I will give you that. I'm not being biased with that either. I just like Baby Money.
Okay, I'm going to say this. And I'll say this, unbiasedly. As much as I would love for Baby Money to be on it, I don't feel like we put in enough work yet. I don't feel like we put in enough work yet. I think that is Baby Money, motherfucking, is he eligible? Absolutely he eligible. But I think that when it comes for him, if he does get that opportunity to be on the cover, like, I wanted to align with a few more things. You know what I mean? It's a lot of shit that we didn't get to do last year because just shit, life got in the way. But when it does happen for him, I just want certain things to happen. So, like, there's certain people that I do want to see, but it's hard for me to think of names, bro, because now that I'm older, like, I understand when my mom used to be like, I used to be like, Mom, you know who this is? Or I just my dad. And I'd be like, every artist is like one person to me now, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But Babyface Ray was already on it.
Yeah, here he did it.
V's, but I also feel like V's, I ain't gonna say he ain't put enough work in, but I would love to hear more music from V's. Like, V's is building like that cult-like following, but I would love to see a V's on there. On the lady side, I gotta see like a Pool, man. I see Sexy Red, like, she's popping, but at the same time, like,
it's too early for her.
It's too early. I would love to see Gloss Up.
Gloss Up.
Yeah.
I think with Sexy and Gloss Up, I feel like they came out like kind of after, like, they started really moving after the 10th spot and all the names were released.
Well, I mean, we signed Gloss Up last year, but I would love to see Gloss Up. You know what I mean? I would love to see Gloss Up make it. It's a lot of young ladies like Slime Maroney. It's so many young women, you know, out here doing their thing.
I said for sure women-wise this year, like Ice Spice and Glow.
Oh, Ice Spice, absolutely.
Yeah.
I would love to see Ice Spice Glow. But I also see the problem with the freshman cover now is I feel like, and this happened within like the last 6 or 7 years, artists feel like they don't need to do it. So I feel like, and I can't speak for Ice Spice, but as a consumer, I feel like she'd probably be like, I don't need to do that.
Right.
Because remember the shit what she did with the shows, where she didn't do the shows.
Yeah,
there was that whole controversy of not doing the shows. Or who else? Like Glow. I feel like Glow might be like, I'm nominated for a Grammy. Why I need? But I feel like these things is important. You know what I mean? I feel like these things is important.
Right, especially if you grew up looking at them too.
Bro, when I got on that cover, I was like, what the fuck? Like, I still need to blow it up and put it in my crib.
I remember I was reading your post earlier too. You were so happy about it too. You're like, I grew up reading XXL. I always wanted to be on the cover.
Man,
you know?
bro.
I think it's important. You know, I think it doesn't really matter how big you are at that point. I said the 3 people who I feel like need to be on the cover this year, and I said this on Rotation Roundtable, and mad people got mad at me for it, but I said Glow, Ice Spice, and Central C.
Central C, yeah. So why was people mad at that? I don't understand people getting mad at your opinion. Like, that's what creates conversation. I hate lists, though. I do fucking hate lists.
Oh, me, Rob, we're all aligned on that.
Yo, I hate lists. I feel like lists is so divisive and they separate us on so many different things. But that's a good lineup. Like, I feel like Central C is one of the main ones that's breaking the barrier on the UK side into the States as a rapper. Like, it's a lot of rappers that feel like they could do it, but he really doing it. Now Yeat. I love Yeat.
Yeat, yeah.
I love Yeat, bro.
I don't know why Yeat. I don't think Yeat was on the. Cause you know when they do the 10th spot, it's like all the people. I don't think Yeat was there.
Yeat is not a 10th spot. Yeat is shooing.
No. But you know, like the 10th spot, like when they have all those people there, it's like the real list is like.
The 10th spot is bullshit.
I think
it's, and I don't know. I'm just saying. I think the 10th spot is bullshit.
I just think that they already know. That's just kind of that's just to kind of get people interacting.
Yeat, one of my favorite rappers, and I know people gonna be like, "Oh my God, you used to work for Rockefeller. How could you say that?" I think that Yeat. First of all, I be in the gym. I love Yeat's music in the gym.
Yeah.
But I think that Yeat, what he does, like, his style is just very. If you listen to what he's saying, he got clever ways of, like, he got like these 2-bar liners that's just like boom, boom, and it be like, oh shit, like, you know what I mean? If you listen to him, Eam Triplin.
Oh yeah,
Eam Triplin.
See, I love Eam. I actually just had Eam on my show. If that's out, go check that out. But I feel like Eam, it might be early.
Nah, man.
You don't think so?
I'm gonna tell you. All right, so look, I had Eam in the studio.
But he is nominated, so shout out my boy. Yeah,
bro,
he was nominated. Yeah,
I had Eam in the studio in 2020.
Okay.
But I didn't. So the way I even started talking to Eam was an artist I had signed. He had a record that was blowing up. He was using Eam's beats because Eam produces.
Right.
And then
Crazy producer, by the way.
Yeah, and then Eam was like, you know, I mean, we was trying to work it out on the business side, but I was like, yo, shit, bro, like I fuck with your beats. Like, yo, if you ever in LA, I'll be in the studio. I'll be at Trap Atlantic. Pull up.
Yeah.
So I had him in the studio and shit, and he was cooking up, and he just asked me like, yo, I could come here for a few days. I'm like, hell yeah. So he was in the room cooking, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
I don't know if he did any rapping, but like just seeing his trajectory from being a producer that was doing this shit on YouTube to him having a Rolling Loud moment last year where it was nobody there, and then this year, I mean, was it this year?
It was this year, yeah.
It was this year. He had a crowd and his music is blown. I would love to see Eam on that shit.
You know what he told me? He said he's like, yeah, they were there for me, but Ice Spice was right after me too at the same time. I was like, you know what, bro? Just take the win. Just take the win. Just take the win and be happy about it.
No, but I mean, Ice Spice, man, that girl is here to stay. You know what I mean? And what like I had the privilege of before she, you know, did her deal, getting the chance to meet her and talking to her, man. She's a very, very smart young lady.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? She knows what she wants to do with herself. She knows how she wants to brand herself. And I think, like, you know what I mean? We should be celebrating that, especially it being from the town. See, the thing about New York, bro, is like, you know how New York is. Like, we get dressed in our best shit to go out and not have a good time. You feel me? So it's like we can't really bask in nobody else doing something good because everybody wants to say, but what about that person? Yeah. What about them? What about them? What about them? And like we got something right now. Now New York has had fucking wins over the years, but we still trying to go back to what we used to be. We'll never be that.
Right. I think I got 2 notes on that actually.
Okay.
Good notes, not bad notes. It's like you said, but what about them? So when Ice Spice blew up, I remember everybody was like, but what about Lola? You know what I'm saying? That was like a big thing online, which I'm like, it's not what about Lola. She gonna have her time. And then, you know, she had her time as the months progressed, right? Like, we knew that was gonna happen, but like, you could have someone like Lola and you could have someone like Ice Spice.
Bro, this shit is just like sports, bro. Everybody don't have the same trajectory. Like, look, Lola, bro, I've been seeing Lola Brooke put music out since like 2017.
Facts.
No bullshit. I've been seeing her name since like 2017. And it takes different shit. That's like the draft, right? Like in the NBA draft, bro, you know how many it was 6 people picked in front of Steph Curry. Blake Griffin was the #1 pick that year. And I would have picked Blake Griffin that year because he was going crazy in college. He could jump out the gym. He was entertaining. But look at who Steph Curry is now.
Or like, when was Tom Brady picked back in the day?
Bro, Ricky Rubio and Johnny Flynn was picked Minnesota Timberwolves had 2 picks back to back. They picked Johnny Flynn and Ricky Rubio, and then Steph Curry got picked.
That shit's crazy.
And then Brandon Jennings got picked.
That shit's crazy. My other note was, I think Vezo said it very well. Because we were talking, you said it's never going to be what it used to be, right?
Never.
Everybody wants it. Everybody, you know, I think the common misconception in New York is that everybody's always like, well, why don't we sound like this? We used to be this. We used to be that. And I'm like,
I got something to say about that.
And I'm like, bro, but like, you can't, like, at the end of the day, like, New York's always going to be influential to everybody, right? And I think Vezo said it very well because I'm sure you probably noticed at this point, but mad people on the East Coast starting to rap over Detroit beats.
Absolutely.
Right?
Not just New York. Everywhere.
Philly. You know, you look
Everywhere.
at people like OT7 Kwani.
Absolutely. Shouts out to Kwani.
Shout out to Kwani or someone like YBC Duel. They're all rapping over Detroit beats, doing different type of sound. And even now, like, I kind of like to test the waters when I get, like, you know, the drill artists who come back on my show for their part 2s. I'm like, what do you want to rap on next?
Yeah.
And a lot of them will be like, I'm really fucking with Detroit beats or some people say Baby Money. They're like, yo, Baby Money, like, platinum in my hood, right? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I think it's interesting because it's like, you know, what did Vezo say? Vezo said New York is like the uncle that used to take care of everybody. But eventually the uncle's going to get older. Not saying New York's getting old. We're not saying that. But like in the sense of this analogy, makes sense, that everybody else is going to start taking care. You know what I'm saying? New York did so much for the game, and now it's time for the game to take care of New York.
I'm going to tell you this, bro. And I say I'm a New Yorker for real. You know what I mean? I was born in the Bronx. You know what I mean? The birth home of hip-hop. And I grew up in Harlem. New York is old. What I mean by that is the way of thinking. Bro, have you ever, all right, we in Atlanta right now. Whenever you ever heard an Atlanta artist, have we ever held, like, if we talking about hip-hop, did we hold Ludacris to the standard that we held Outkast? Did we hold Future to the standard of Ludacris? Did we hold the Migos to Future? I mean, did we hold the Migos to Gucci? Did we hold them to Young Dro? You know what I mean? Did we hold them to D4L? The thing with everywhere else other than New York is they allow themselves to try different shit and evolve. And yeah, a lot of times we joke on them for certain shit, like, oh, they doing that, that silly shit or whatever. But we don't allow our youth to grow, and we don't help them grow neither, bro. Whenever, much love to like Griselda, right? Because when it comes to Griselda, everybody says that like they shit it's that old it's not that old New York shit. They have a different sound than what New York was when they rapped with that certain type of content.
Yeah.
Now, the reason why Griselda is successful is because they command a space that nobody else taps into, and they really, really, really leaned into it. When it comes to New York, right, like, influence also plays a part in how we create music. So A Boogie, which people started saying he was taking speaker knocker shit. A Boogie might have been on MySpace and heard a speaker knocker song and was like, oh, this shit hard. Let me try to implement some of that here. Roddy Ricch, right? And it, like, now with Roddy Ricch, he from Compton. But when Roddy Ricch came out, we didn't look for Roddy Ricch to have on a Dickie suit and Chucks. And he could have did that because he's like, LA is, everybody's allowed to be themselves. New York has always got to be, but New York, we hold ourselves to this fucking ridiculous like bar that we'll never jump over again. There's never going to be, I don't think there's never going to be another New York, I don't think there'll ever be another artist ever that probably sells 1 million the first week like 50 did. Physical copies specifically. But bro, we had our time and we having a time. We was having so much of a fucking time, we didn't really understand what Pop Smoke was until he died. Pop Smoke was a fucking superstar in 1 year. And we still talking about some, yeah, but it ain't that feel. It ain't with Mobb Deep. Mobb Deep was fucking 28 years ago, bro. How the fuck we gonna get that back?
Right.
Nah, bro, we gotta embrace what the new shit is. 50 embraced Pop when he was here. Yeah. I ain't see everybody else jumping on that bandwagon till the nigga died. Straight up. That's why I do give it up to Jim. But Jim was always like that, bro. If you go back to Jim old, I'm talking about the Purple City Bird Gang mixtapes, the Scissor mixtapes.
Right.
Jim was going to different towns and working with young artists everywhere. Jim was one of the first people in New York to put T.I. He had T.I. on his fucking mixtape when nobody else was fucking with T.I. in New York.
Right.
Not that they wasn't fucking with him. They didn't know what it was. You feel me? So it's like, bro, let these kids grow. Let them do their fucking thing. Get the fuck out their way. Talk with them, not at them, and let's advise them so that they don't make the same mistakes we made. And they make more fucking money than us so that they could take care of their kids.
Yeah.
That's my fucking take on it.
No, that was a great, that was a beautiful take. I feel like it's, you know, you mentioned like how people didn't, I feel like people appreciated Pop, but I do understand what you're saying where it's like they didn't fully.
They didn't, bro, he was doing this shit. They was like, what the fuck is that? 22 G's was doing the fucking twirl. What the fuck is that? Yeah. Even Bobby Shmurda, bro, when Shmurda shit first came out, it was people, yo, bro, man, you know how many people don't be, and that's because we be stuck in our ways, bro. We don't have, Biggie's gone, y'all. Stop bringing Biggie up in debates. I love Biggie. No, for real, bro. Biggie died.
No, you're right.
Bro, Biggie died when I was in 9th grade, bro. When I was in 9th grade, Tupac died when I was in 9th grade. Stop bringing them. They in a fucking space where nobody will ever get to. But stop bringing them talking about some, it ain't Biggie, it ain't Pac, it ain't Dipset, it ain't, we ain't even, when Rocky came out, bro.
Yeah.
When Rocky came out, it was this new wave. Salute to 12E. I love you, 12E. But it was a new wave because 12E said some shit one day. He's like, man, we gave niggas something to listen to when they ain't have nothing to listen to. ASAP was a whole, bro, we had just got Our Future. Now we got our own Our Future. Or everybody say, man, them niggas rapping over Texas beats. Guess what? They was 10 years old when fucking Slim Thug and Mike Jones and all them was on 106 and Park.
Yeah.
And on fucking Rap City and Yo MTV Raps. Of course they gonna be influenced by that shit.
Right.
Like stop. Like, we gotta stop trying to.
Or you look at someone like, or you look at like even the Pro Era movement. You know what I'm saying?
Pro Era.
You look at Pro Era or Flatbush Zombies. You know.
Bro, Pro Era, and look, that's the thing. What I love about that was the blog era.
Yeah.
What I loved about that time, bro, TDE was fucking with ASAP. ASAP was fucking with Flatbush Zombies. They was fucking with Pro Era. They was all doing shows together. But guess what? Even with Joey Badass back then, some people was appreciating it, but they wasn't. Now look, the people who was on the Two Dope Boys, the Nah Rights, you know what I mean? Low key heard that new on Smash, on that type shit. On the net, they was fucking with it. When I talk about the streets, bro, they wasn't embracing Joey Bad. The radio was not embracing no fucking Joey Badass. They was not embracing Rocky until he had fucking problems.
Yep.
They was not jacking Peso. They was not jacking Purple Swag. None of that shit. And then the same radio stations talk about how it's supposed to be and all. Man, listen, these kids dictate what it's supposed to be. When I was a kid, and the Locks came out, bro. It was the best time of my fucking life. First time I heard Cardi, Mace, McGruff, they was dictating what the sound was.
Yeah.
But they are, but that's not what it is no more. You feel me? Now these and when I bro, I kid you not, I used to argue with niggas on my block that was older, telling me about Rakim. I was like, he not better than Jadakiss. Today you'll get a fucking spear thrown in your head for that. Back then I was arguing with older dudes on my block. They talking about Big Daddy Kane. I'm like, Big Daddy Kane? Well, I'm listening to the Locks. I'm listening to DMX right now. You feel me? So I just feel like we don't allow the new artists to fucking breathe and embrace the change, bro. This shit is changing. And the reason why it always be a New York artist that go sign somewhere else or something is because we be like, oh, I ain't fucking with that shit. Then when it's too late, yo, man, you hot, man. Yo, come on, man. What you want? You sign on it? Fuck, they ain't fucking with you.
Yeah, nah, that's a fact. Or like they don't, you know, even like the impact that like that era had, like the blog era with all them too. Like we was skateboarding around. Like I was in high school at the time. We were skateboarding around, listening to 1999. Listen to Joey, listen to Rocky.
See, when they came out, bro, when Joey and Rocky and all them came out, I was 27, 28. I was 28 when Rocky first came out and all that shit, right? And for me, like everything, I was in the street when I was a kid. So like at first, there is a little bit of apprehension, right? But at the same time, it's like I also was a kid that I rode BMX. Like the reason why I love Tyler, Creator, so much is because I relate to him in a lot of ways, because all of those things that you think is cool and you in the hood and you want to say it's cool but you don't want to get joked on is what Tyler Creator was for me. So when he came out as an artist, I'm like, damn, like I always wanted to wear Supreme, but I never bought it because we was wearing Coogis. We was wearing Iceberg. That's what was cool then. You know what I mean? That the Supreme, the skate shit wasn't dope. Then when they started commercializing and making it dope, now you see everybody in the hood on the Supreme shit. Everybody, because we dick riders, man. That's what it is. That's what the city be. The city be dick riding and they don't want to admit it. Because by the time they win, bro, when I was managing Dave East, bro, when I met Dave East, I started managing Dave East, I called everybody. Because I believed in him so much, bro. I called everybody I knew that worked at a label. I called everybody that was another manager, everybody that was a producer, everybody. You know what I mean? People was like, yeah, whatever. When we started getting that shit rocking, bro, I'm talking about when we started getting that shit rocking, you know what I mean? People double back. Because you know why they double back? Because they want to see how they can make money off of it. Now, at the point where we done what we doing, and me and Dave, we on this journey together.
Yeah.
Couldn't nobody getting into that shit. And that's why they couldn't figure out how Dave had the city, because we didn't have a record. But we had them bars, and we had personality, and we had character. You know what I mean? And that's what did it for us. But I know it's dick riding, bro. They tried to, they do it with everybody. I seen it happen with Troy Ave and Hovain. You know what I mean? I seen it happen with even A Boogie and them. Yeah. They like, oh, that nah. Then when we started seeing all them kids singing that shit.
Yeah.
You feel me?
Like if you was really around the time that A Boogie came out, you would see like how women, like the girls, the young girls in schools, will go crazy over him.
Yo, my daughter, I got a daughter that's 21 years old at this time.
Your daughter was like perfect, like that's perfect timing.
I came in the crib.
Perfect timing.
I came in the crib one day and she was playing this. My daughter studying and do her homework. I mean, she's studying and listening to music.
Yeah.
So she listening to A Boogie. I'm like, what the fuck is this? She like, A Boogie with the hoodie. I was like, what the fuck is an A Boogie with the hoodie? Right? I was like, man, whatever. She like, all her friends, they just texting each other, sending shit to each other, bro. I kid you not. In a matter of like, this was like 2016, but early, like, I say like March, April, because we still was in the projects. Probably like February, March, April, around that time. Bro, by the time it got to the summer, he was the hottest fucking thing in the city. Hottest thing in the city. Then everybody trying to chase him down. You know what I mean? Like everybody, but they really wasn't on it. You gotta listen to the kids, man. We all was kids once. Everything that I said that I love, my parents wasn't jacking.
Yeah.
Feel me? Everything.
Yeah. Everything. And I think about that now too with the music. It's like you just gotta listen to like always what's next.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Always what's next. Like
That's
I even think about that like when I came down here, like you know, a lot of the young Atlanta artists who I brought on, it was just like I brought one of them on and then like they brought their friends and I like trust them because I'm like, y'all young. So y'all know.
Bro, think about it. Even if you look at the Atlanta scene, remember when it was, I think Vice did that shit. It was McConan, Thugger. It was like they did this shit with what's that kid name? Was it Father? It was a kid named Father.
Father, yep.
Father. It was this crazy ass scene, bro. Look at how everybody blew up out of that shit. A lot of them, I mean, some of them ain't around no more, but like a lot of them blew up out of that shit, man. You gotta pay attention to them kids, man. You gotta go to some. See, the thing about now is music is such a crazy place now, where a lot of these kids ain't even performing locally. They not really performing like that till they blow up because they beefing so much. So it's like one thing I say about Atlanta, like they don't really have like a SOBs where you could just go and hear music, or Philly. They don't have a SOBs, or LA. They don't have like, but like SOBs used to be like the stomping ground for everybody to get their first shit off. You know what I mean? And I think we need to get back to that, like Santos Party House. You know what I mean? All of them different spaces, Highline Ballroom, fucking Webster Hall. They used to have the shit downstairs. When I was managing East, bro, we did every single show. There was a point in time where it wasn't nobody in that shit, and then we had the shit packed out. But we got to pay attention to what these kids is on, especially in bit. That's why I keep saying I'm gonna keep reiterating it. Stop talking at them and start talking with them. For real.
Yeah, the downstairs at Webster Hall, crazy place to be.
What?
Crazy place
That
to
shit
be.
used to go up.
The amount of times I left there with like a white tee and like I walked in with a white tee, I came out, I was like, all right, this shit gotta come off. This shit,
it was crazy.
Cause like I used to go to like all like the underground shows like as a kid. Like I think one show I went to that was super crazy back in the day. I think it was at Irving, and it was like it was like G-Eazy, Kyle, Super Duper Kyle, Tory Lanez, Rocky Fresh.
Yeah, Rocky Fresh, yeah.
And there was one other person, and I remember sitting there. I'm like, all these guys is about to be huge,
bro. But this the thing,
and
right?
they all blew up at some point.
Yo, I remember. So I used to host shows, right? I used to host shows and SOBs for a little bit, and I knew shit was shifting when I hosted Ab Soul first show.
Wow.
SOBs. He brought Kendrick
That's
out,
dope.
and this is when Kendrick put out Good Kid, Mad City, and like I seen the shift of like people from New York. It wasn't a shift. Like it was the generation under me embracing what was new.
Right.
You know what I mean? And not having to listen to us saying, this is what it should be. This is how it gotta sound. You can't listen to music unless it's this. But it never was that. When I think about myself growing up, bro, I was listening to Domino. He was an artist from the West Coast, and he used to fucking sing and rap. I was listening to fucking No Limit. Like when No Limit came out, first time I heard Master P, I was one of them kids. I liked everything. I bought everything. I was buying. No Limit was dropping a tape every week. I was going buying their tapes, everything they would put out, from fucking Mr. Serve On to the Twins to Mercedes to fucking C Murder, all of them. Then it was what was it? Cash Money. I was going Cash Money crazy, bro. Buying BG, Chopper City. Or like it'd be so funny. I'd be talking with P. And P he loved Big Thomas. He be like, you know this? I be like, yeah, but them motherfuckers sold millions of records. You think they only sold millions of records in the South? Down to Memphis, bro. My homegirl, her family was from Memphis. She used to come back every summer with a 3 6 Mafia album. You know what I mean? Like, yo, you gotta hear this shit. So it's like, you know, we always been listening to shit. We always been listening to diverse crowds, but I just, you know, with the town, man, like we just be so hell bent on, no, we need somebody to be we never getting a Jay-Z again. I don't know if we know this or not. We're never getting to fucking Jay-Z ever again. You know what I'm saying? So, it is what it is.
You know, we almost had another 50 with Pop.
Yeah, but I think Pop was different than 50 because 50 ain't dance, bro. 50 didn't dance, bro. 50 just, I'm in the club doing the same old two-step. Nah, Pop was, he was dancing. He was doing all this shit, bro. Pop had gangsters having, like, I seen Swiss Beats say this shit. He said, man, I ain't seen no shit like Pop since DMX. As far as, like, the voice, the energy, but then the dancing, bro. You know how important it is to have a dance. Yo, Jim said that shit to me. Jim was like, yo, bro, you know how important it is when you got a fucking, he like, anything with dance moves lasts forever. He's like, think about breakdancing. He said, bro, you could go over to Japan and find the greatest breakdancers in the world. He said, there was no internet. These motherfuckers was buying VHS tapes and studying that shit. Pop had, bro, after Pop, I seen a kid from Italy doing Pop shit. He was woo walking and shit. Bro, he was another thing, and that's what I'm saying. We ain't embraced it fast enough. How we should have, man. Pop should have got before he died, man. I remember, real quick, I know I'm going on.
You good.
Rico Beats, one of my close friends. I met Pop Smoke one time, and he showed me some appreciation when I met him. When Pop put out, I think it was Meet the Woo. What was the first tape called?
Meet the Woo.
Meet the Woo 2. Meet the Woo 2 is the picture with the smoke in front of him.
Well, there's
it's white and black.
Meet the Woo 2 got the white.
It's white
cover.
and black. Yeah.
The Meet the Woo 1, the first Meet the Woo has a blue cover with smoke on it. Yeah.
The second one was the white one.
Right before he passed away.
It was right before he passed away,
3
bro.
weeks before he passed,
The shit is still up on my page. I posted Pop, of course, because he's my front artist, but also I fuck with his music. Bro, do you know how crazy my comment section was on there? talking about how this nigga was trash, how he wasn't this, how he wasn't that, he was this, and then Pop, when I posted it, Pop was like, yo, thank you. Like, he said, thank you, bro, big bro, whatever he said. And then after he died, people coming back to my page. That's why I'm saying, bro, when we see something, we don't.
I got my example of that.
What?
Ice Spice is my example of that. Because when I did the Ice Spice freestyle,
Mhm.
I remember I put that shit out.
Mm-hmm.
And everybody was like, why would you let this trash girl on? She's only this because of her, because people sexualize her.
Yeah.
All she has is a fat ass. She can't really rap.
Mhm.
Blah, 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 right? And now, like, you look at, and that shit only got like 80,000 views, I think, in the first like 6 months of it being out, right? And now you look at it now, that shit got 1.8. That shit about to hit 2 mil
Bro,
on YouTube. A year later, too.
A year
and
later.
Now everybody loves her.
But look at this, bro. It's been people that can't rap like that since the beginning of time. I wish we would stop acting like every single person who rap, because I you know what people say, oh, it ain't no substance. It's tons of substance. It's just that you can pick and choose what you like to listen to.
Right.
Now,
you can listen to a Rhapsody, but you could also, but there's also an audience for someone like Sexy Red.
Yeah, and Rhapsody, yo, you know what's crazy about Rhapsody? She be liking all that shit. Rhapsody loves that shit. I remember one time I had a conversation with her. She was talking about how much she loved Cardi B, and she was reciting some Cardi B bars, and people like I wouldn't say that I was surprised, but I was like, wow, that's interesting, right? Yeah. But the thing about it is, bro, there's always been with anything that anybody does, there's levels. You know what I mean? There's levels. You got people that's at the motherfucking bottom. You got people that's not even at the cusp, that's growing. Then you got people in the middle. Then you got people that's at the highest point. Then you got the people that have the potential to what they want to be. You can't have potential forever. The thing about, I feel like the Ice Spices, you know what I mean? Like all these, because I like these girls. I like Shani B. I think she's dope.
Shani Bonnie.
Shani Bonnie.
Shout out Shani Bonnie.
Shani Bonnie. I like Shani Bonnie. It's so many of these young girls I like and everything. And the overall, and this not just a New York thing, we try to run it. Like everybody just wants to run. It's like if we can't tell them what to do, then it don't mean shit. But the thing about it is, it's enough room for everybody. Man, hip-hop is black culture. I'ma just say it. People try to mask it and, oh, it's African. No, I'm not going to say African-American. I'm black. You know what I mean?
Right.
And hip-hop is black culture. And I feel like for this to be our thing, instead of saying why this one isn't as good as that one, how about we big up this one while we bigging it up? And listen, I ain't bigging up trash, neither. You know what I mean? I also believe there's a lot of fucking trash out here.
Right.
But at the same time, when we see something and it got some momentum and they ain't doing nothing but they thing, let's salute that. Let's bring that up. Let's champion that, because that's how these motherfuckers going to get to not be kicking in your door one day.
Right.
You feel me? If we champion it and help them learn and grow, and like that's what we need in this shit.
Right. Like if you look at a Cardi B, like
they said the same shit about her that they say about Ice Spice
or Sexy Red.
They say the same shit. Bro. The same shit they were saying about Ice Spice, they were saying about Cardi B.
You want to laugh? So when I posted the Sexy Red video, shout out to Toby with the money throwing in the Sexy Red video, right?
What up, Toby?
What up, Toby? When I posted the Sexy Red video, I was like, I already know what they're going to say. I put like a little pinned comment. I said, let me help y'all out. You let anybody on here. I could rap better than her. How you let her up here before me? Because those are all the comments I got for Ice Spice, right? And then there was definitely this one reply that I saw that I thought was really funny. It was just like this guy did a whole think piece about how like this is like how we're failing our youth and shit like that. I'm just like,
so what the fuck was Doodle Brown? So what the fuck? Y'all, listen. I love when people say that because
he's like this is like why people of color. Blah, 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 blah,
this is
like,
what's wrong with hip hop right here, man. Listen. It's been every type of fucking hip-hop since hip-hop has come out. Man, listen,
Rapper's Delight was like, come on, man, let's not, let's
bro,
not do this right
even
now.
when it come to violence, bro, we had videos when I was a kid of dudes emulating gangsters, driving up on cars, shooting at them, all types of shit. This is not no new construct.
Yeah.
The thing that I would appreciate, the thing that I would love is culturally as a people for us to embrace that we're entertaining and everything is not about our fucking lives. Because a lot of these kids get into this shit and they feel a pressure that they got to be what they talking about. And no the fuck you don't. You don't. What you need to say is, I'm a fucking entertainer. I'm rapping. Hey, you want to beef with me? I don't want no problems with you, bro. I don't want no problems. I ain't on that type of shit. I'm just making music. See, we don't have enough of that, and that's where we get all this. But nobody, even with the, they objectifying, man, get the fuck out of here. Are you kidding me, bro? Look at Freak Nick. Now everybody on the internet is like, oh, y'all mamas and y'all grandmamas. So that wasn't objectification back then?
Right.
I don't want to hear that shit, bro.
I hate seeing that shit because it's like I forgot the discourse we were having about Freaknik the other day, but I was like, bro, like y'all talking about how again I'll bring it back to Sexy Red because I'm gonna defend her. Y'all talking about how fucking the people who are talking shit about Sexy Red, they probably was at Freaknik back in the day,
bro.
Or they had a friend who was at Freaknik.
We
back in the day.
We got Sexy Red. We had Jackie O.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? We had Trina. Rest in peace. We had my homegirl, Gangsta Boo.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? We had Mia X. We had Eve. Angie was a fucking rapper. Angie Martinez was a rapper. She had a single with Jay-Z. We had Little Kim, who had her titty out. We had Foxy. Bro, this is what I grew up on as a kid. So I just don't be for the. And that's why I said about when you get older, your perspective, because you thinking about what your daughter sees and if she's gonna be influenced. Listen, I'm here to make here to make a news flash, man. Everybody's daughter's gonna fuck somebody. You know what I mean? Like I don't know if you knew that or not, but that's just how life goes. You know what I'm saying? Shit is just social media amplifies things.
Yeah, facts.
But for us to say about, oh man, it wasn't like that. Everybody act like hip hop. For the past, it's 50 years old. For the past, I won't even say 20, because let's go back to 30. For the past 30, it was just all positivity and motherfuckers breakdancing and all types of shit.
Say kumbaya and shit.
I manage Duke Deuce, bro.
Man.
Duke Deuce put me onto this dude from Memphis that was dissing Bone. I didn't know how deep the Bone Thugs 3-6 Mafia shit went. It's this dude from I can't remember his name, but Duke had told me about this brother who he made a whole diss record about Bone Thugs because he was like, man, yeah, them motherfucking that 3-6 Mafia shit is some country shit, and he was going crazy on them. People been beefing, shit been up, motherfuckers been fighting. Rick, we gonna forget that Rick Ross and Jeezy got into a fight at the BET Awards.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? Shit been going down, bro. We gotta stop acting like. That's what I'm saying, man. I think the only thing left for us to do is for us to instruct the youth. Sexy Red gonna be Sexy Red for a minute. The thing about it is, at the point where she's starting to grow, let's help her grow.
Yeah.
Let's help her become an Eve. People used to get on Eve because Eve was a stripper before she was a rapper. Look at who Eve became. She had a fucking show on UPN. You know what I'm saying? She had multiple fucking hit records. Central C sample, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, only because she was that why we got Central C's biggest record, I think.
Yeah.
So it's like we got to start embracing that shit, man. Hip hop is a tool for all of us to get some fucking money off of it. Let's embrace that youth.
Right. And you mentioned how she was a stripper before, like Cardi. You thinking about something like Cardi.
Man, I seen Cardi in Sin City. I seen Cardi in Sin City. But everybody seen Cardi in Sin City at that time.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? We seen Cardi in Sin City, but the thing about Cardi, I think before the music, her personality carried her because she had 1 million followers on the gram before she was even rapping.
Right.
Just by being in the locker room doing crazy shit.
And being an entertainer on Love and Hip Hop.
Yeah,
too, you know what I'm
before Love and Hip Hop, though.
Mm.
Yeah, before Love and Hip Hop, bro, her Instagram was crazy.
Right.
Crazy.
A lot of like the whole Never Gets Cold. That was her, right? I think that was her.
A lot of shit.
There was a lot of the my favorite is her Black Beatles remix. She was like, that girl is a real dick sucker. She fucked her, she fucked her. Some shit like that. That's some shit
She's
like
the
that.
Bronx. What I love about Cardi's, man, I don't give a fuck. She always gonna be Bronx, bro. You see that girl? If you looked up the Bronx in the dictionary, her face would pop up.
That's a fact.
Straight up.
That's a fact. So what do you have coming up, man? What else we got cooking?
More
stuff on Amazon?
Yeah. I got some more stuff coming on Amazon. I want to pull up on y'all show, come kick it with y'all one day,
I don't
man.
know. Yeah, what the fuck? Why haven't we set that up?
I mean, the only reason why is because I live down here. You know what I mean? I'm pretty sure if I was back home, I'd have been on it. But I just
you'd be there sometimes.
I just seen Speedy, and I told him I want to pull up. You know what I mean? And Robert, that's my brother. You know what I mean? And Nyla, that's like it's such a family oriented thing, man. Because I really appreciate all of y'all. Yeah. But I'm rebuilding my podcast. I'm gonna start doing my podcast again. You know me, hear me out with Wayno, because a lot of people have been asking me about it, and you know, along this journey, I say not necessarily get discouraged, but sometimes, as confident as I am, you be running your own race, and then sometimes, you might veer off a little and look to the left or look to the right and be like, damn, you know what I mean? Can I still do it? Yeah. But I want to bring my podcast back because I feel like I provide a space and I provide like commentary that don't nobody else do. You know what I mean? I speak for the motherfucker who used to gangbang, then got a job, then became a dad, and just trying to make it out here. You feel me? So I want to talk from that perspective, and then also, you know, of course, you know, on the QC side, we got a lot of shit coming from Baby Money. He just dropped his artwork for Young Nigga Old Soul on part 2 coming out. Vezzo dropping soon.
You got the collab tape with them coming soon too, right?
Yeah. Vezel talked about it. Yeah, we got the.
Bro, it's out the bag. Stop with the industry. Like,
I had to think if he said something for a millisecond, but he did say,
Vezel already
we got the collab tape with Vezel and Baby Money coming. We got a lot of shit coming, man. Gloss Up, Lakia, Duke Deuce. You know what I'm saying? We Too Hard. You know what I mean? A few artists that I'm building out. You know what I mean, on the back end. I got a lot going on, man. I'm just happy that I'm waking up every day with another opportunity to shake some shit up.
Right. Again, the wise words of our brother Hovain.
Mm-hmm.
Good morning. Thank you, God, for another day. Now, before we get out of here, right?
Yeah.
Calvin, come on. Cal's question.
All right, we got Cal's question.
I'm just going to slide out of the frame.
I've been seeing these. Yeah, Cal, we have this question.
Hey,
Rob, this good?
All right, cool.
All right.
Hello. Wayno, first of all, thank you for your contribution to music and what you've done and the advice you've given to everyone from all levels of music.
Thank you.
I also want to let you know that I had like 5 questions in mind, but I only have time for 1.
Okay.
So, my question for you today is, like I said before, you have a long track record of working with artists of all different types of genres at, again, all different types of levels. What has been your favorite what has been your favorite trend or your new genre that has come up recently, and the artist at the forefront that you feel best represents that?
Great question, Cal.
What's the next thing that? Well, I mean, it's not necessarily a trend, but I say to an extent, I say R&B. I say R&B, and I love Summer Walker, man. Lord, I love Summer Walker. I also love her, but I negated to say that Leighton Green is dropping soon. That's the first R&B album I ever A&R'd.
God bless, she's back.
You know what I mean? Yeah, so Leighton Green. But yeah, I say like, just the R&B forefront. I mean, it's I love a lot of stuff that these kids is doing, and my brother B-Dot always says like new doesn't always mean good, and he's right about that. But I mean, I love the drill scene, you know what I mean? I love Afro beats. You know what I mean? I think the Afro beats is real interesting because we seeing how like a genre that came from outside of the country is kind of infiltrated, you know what I mean? And not in a bad way, but like it's becoming a part of hip hop, you know what I mean? Such a big, I mean, I think it's not necessarily, it's becoming larger than hip hop in some senses, but hip hop is still a little bit of the DNA in there. You can see it, you know what I mean? So I just love to see, man, people doing positive shit, especially when it comes to making this music and just doing good and making good songs that we could jam and have fun to, man. It can make us think, make us have conversations, make us challenge ourselves, make us think about ourselves, and make us become better people, for real.
There you have it. Well, my brother, I appreciate you being here. Thank you again, man.
Appreciate you,
for
bro.
the hospitality and ATL. As we end all these interviews, let the people know where they can follow you at, all that good stuff. Anything else the fans got to know, now is the time to do it.
Oh,
this
man.
camera right over here in the corner.
Let me tell you. I mean, Wayno 119 on everything, specifically on PSN. You feel me? If you want to get your ass cut in 2K, listen, if you ain't in the greatest of all time league, don't even come at me. But also, you know what I mean? Just Wayno 119 on everything. You can find me now on Twitter, Instagram, Twitch. I'm about to start getting on Twitch and having some fun. You know what I mean? I just want to talk, man. I'm going to have you pull up on some of my shit, too, so we can kick it. But yeah, man, Wayno 119 on everything.
There you go. If you want to get your ass beat, remember, he's not too old to bust your ass in 2K.
I'm not old, man. Listen, because guess what?
I'm not saying you old, but
I'm going to say this last thing in closing. I'm going to say this last thing in closing because I be telling a lot of these young brothers this. I looked it up. The average man can do anywhere between 8 to 15 push-ups. You wouldn't believe the amount of young men that can't do 15 push-ups, bro. I could do 100 in 10 minutes. I could do 100 like it's nothing.
There you go.
So listen, y'all need to get y'all push-ups up. Don't talk that old shit to me. I could beat you on the treadmill. I could beat you in these push-ups. I could beat you, so stop playing with me, feel me?
There you go. Make sure you go follow him. Go run up everything he's got going on right now. Go show him some love. Go show him some support. Love is free. Support is free. But y'all already knew that. Till next time, Wayno on the radar. ATL. Puma, we out. Bow.